Hey, so today we're looking at the Forclaz 500 Traveller backpack. So this is a 40-litre backpack that costs about £60, comes in black, grey or orange. I've had a really good experience with this taking it around India and South America, and today I'll take you through everything you need to know, pros and cons. So you can see the measurements here. It weighs 1.3 kilos. It's pretty large, but it's still cabin size, so you can take this on an aeroplane. It has a hip belt on it, which we'll start with looking at, and that has a small pocket on the side here, which hopefully you can see. Now the main thing to know about this bag is it has a clamshell design like a suitcase. So I'll open up the main zip here, which runs all the way around, and then you open it up and you see you have two sides of it which are roughly the same deepness. So everything in here is pretty much synthetic materials. So you see on the right hand side there is one big pocket, so it's kind of got these built-in organizer packing cube type things, and then on the left hand side there are two pockets, so one that is about 2/3 of it, and then one that is slightly smaller. And then finally, there's one other zipper pocket here, which goes part the way down that pocket there. By the way, it is possible to put a lock on that main zip around. So I will show how I use this bag on my travels and what I put in each sort of place. But for now, I've got the top of the bag, which has this more water repellent material. On the front here, there's a small zipper pocket, and this is where the included rain cover lives. So you can take that out, and that stretches over the entire backpack in case it's raining a lot. There's also a decent amount of space here to put other little things. Moving to the top of the bag, there is a small zipper pocket on the outside, which you don't need to open the bag to access it. So this is useful for little items that you want to grab, maybe sunglasses, sun cream. You can also put some keys on. Then on the sides of the bags, so firstly, there is a bottle pocket included. So you can unzip that or zip it up to keep it out of the way, but that's designed for a water bottle to go in here. And then on the other side, there's a very large elasticated pouch, which, you can fit quite a lot of things in. It's actually very, very large. Hopefully you can appreciate that. The last big pocket you have is for a laptop, so it can fit up to a 15-inch laptop, and you can see the zip on it is on the side. That opens up and you see there. Now, honestly, there is not a lot of padding in this. So if I was going to put a laptop in here, I would put it in a small sleeve, like a neoprene type sleeve, because yeah, there's really not a lot of padding here. Another thing worth noting is that top pocket we had here, and also the laptop sleeve, they have this security feature on the zip. So the zip has a bit on the end, and it needs to go through a loop in order to, finish the zip. And that means that you can't just grab the zip and open. You need to carefully thread through that little bit through the loop. And this is pretty good, I think. It's a nice little anti-theft feature because it means someone can't just quickly get into your bag, especially the valuable bits like the laptop. Aside from that, on the side of the bag, on one side you've got straps that you can tighten in order to make the bag a little bit more compressed. On the other side you have buckles as well, so to close it off, and that also adds a little bit of like anti-theft feature because that stops you from being able to open it completely, opening that zip. In terms of other adjustments, on the shoulders you have some straps at the top to adjust, and the typical ones that you have on every type of backpack, and also the hip belt can be adjusted to fit your waist. Alright, so I have loaded this up with some stuff to give you an idea of how I was using it when I was traveling. So I'll open up the main zipper compartment and take a look inside. So in this big main compartment is where I kept the vast majority of my clothes. So here I've just put some really big items. I did also keep some plastic bags in here to separate out laundry, or maybe separating out underwear, that kind of thing. On this side I kept a pair of shoes in this bottom compartment, usually in a bag. I've just put them in quickly just to show. And then on the other side I would keep like a towel, a toiletry bag, maybe other aquatic related things, and then some gadgets in this pocket here. So I had like a power bank, a charger, that kind of thing. On the outside, I would keep a pair of flip-flops on the side here in the elasticated pocket. This could also be a good place to keep a waterproof or umbrella or something for if it's going to rain. You could also keep something like that in the front pocket here. And then on the other side in the bottle pocket, I have a bottle. And finally on the top, I think in this stuff is falling out because I'm being very rough, and then at the top in this small zipper pocket, I had some sunglasses, some earphones, things that you want to just grab without needing to open the entire bag. So as you can see, where everything is falling out, everything kind of has its place, and that's what I really like about this bag. It's one of the big pros of this, that things stay organized and you don't need to buy packing cubes or anything like that to, extra. You can just use a couple plastic bags maybe in this main compartment, and that way separate a few things out. So very easy to keep things organized, really good if you're traveling for a reasonably long amount of time, 3 weeks, a month. It's nice to have everything in its place. The other thing I really liked is, for the price, I think the materials are really good. They're pretty durable. I mean, I've used this for 6 months so far. There are some scuffs and things because I've not treated it that well, but nothing is not working. All the zips and things seem pretty solid, and Decathlon have a decent guarantee, so if you have any problems, I think they're pretty good at sorting that out. I think basically the reason this comes in a lot cheaper than a lot of specialized brands is that Decathlon have just got so much mass production that I guess they can just bring down the cost of production so much. The other thing is you can fit a lot in here, but it's still cabin size, and I really do not like checking in baggage, especially when traveling around, because it will cost you money and also could end up in lost luggage and delays at the airport. So it's great to be able to just take this where you're going. If you're taking internal flights on your trip as well, very easy to get around. And then it's also pretty comfy. So like, you know, you've got the hip belt. So a hip belt is really useful to take some of that load off your shoulders, off your neck, and it's got a bit of padding. It's got a bit of padding here on the top and bottom. But that being said, this is not a backpack designed for hiking, and so there's a few design choices that indicate that. So firstly, in terms of putting big things like tents and sleeping bags in, you can't really do that because you could open up all these compartments and then put something that would be quite deep, taking up the entire depth of the bag, but it's really not that practical. You'd have all this extra material around. And the other thing is it's, for example, not compatible with hydration bags, so there's nowhere to put a hydration bag. And the other thing is the weight distribution. So I'll try and close this up so that you can actually see what I mean. Now, because this is cabin size, it ends up being quite a deep bag. It's not that tall because it needs to be within a certain limit. And when you look at actual hiking backpacks, they tend to be a lot taller and they keep the weight closer to your body. They also typically have a structured back that distributes the weight a little better, you know, usually with a curve. But you can see here it's pretty straightforward and simple. It doesn't have that kind of design. Now, that being said, this is not uncomfortable for walking around. I think I did a couple short hikes, and you know, for a couple hours it's not going to be a problem, but if you're doing multi-day hike kind of things, it's not the ideal backpack for the job. And so this isn't a one fits all functions backpack. It is quite aimed at being taken around hostels and that kind of typical gap year type traveling that people tend to do. So apart from that minor con, I only had a couple of the minor gripes with it. So one is on the right hand side on this compartment you have two zips, which is nice because it's easier to open just a part of it and get something out, whereas on the left hand side there's only one zip on the compartments. So sometimes you have to open the zip all the way if you want to get something that's at the bottom of the compartment, for example. Not as much as a problem with the shoes because usually you've only got shoes in there. The other thing is, in general, it takes a little more effort to open up and get things out. So let's say this is completely shut. Maybe I've also buckled up the sides to keep it a bit more snug and secure. And then if I want to put something in here, well, I'm gonna have to unbuckle these, and then I'm gonna have to open up this zip, and then I'm gonna have to open up another zip, and it can be a little laborious. One trick I did have is, mainly for this top pocket and also this one, is you can have the main zip closed up most of the way, and then you can leave the last part here so that you open it up here just to access the top, and then you can open another zip inside. It's a little better, you don't have to open the whole thing, but it's still a little bit labor intensive to get things in and out, and that's a little bit more difficult than with your typical top loading backpack, because usually with those you just unhook one thing and you can put things in directly. You do have the elastic pouch on the side. That's good for kind of overflow storage of things, or the top. So it's not a lost battle, but it's just something to bear in mind. And you know, aside from that, honestly, there are not many cons with this. It does a really good job at the thing it's designed for, which, as I said, hostel hopping, typical gap year type traveling. Things stay organized. It's a really good price. They haven't paid me to say this, I swear. Pretty durable, good guarantee. Honestly, I've really enjoyed using this, and I'm looking forward to using it again because it's so organized. Everything stays in its place. If you have any comments, recommendations, questions, just leave them below. Subscribe for more to the point content. Let me know if there's another bag you think is better than this at the price. I'd be very curious. Or if you've had this and you disagree with me on anything, or there's something I've missed. Definitely useful to get information from other people. So thank you again for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.